I think those are all questions that are healthy to ask yourself. And I think it is how somebody turns into something. So comparing yourself to somebody, I think, can be healthy. I think you just have to be kind of careful that you don't fall into the like, why are they getting so much attention and not me? Mm-hmm. It's more like, I think you should ask a different question, frame it differently, and say, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder kind of like what recipe they're following to get this kind of attention. They're obviously doing a great job in some way to get that many eyes on them, to get that many comments and likes and so forth.
Yeah, you're making good points. Like you have a psych degree by chance, psychology?
No, I just been studying.
I love when people who study and understand it more than I like. Well, I won't say that, but they get it differently. That's why I like that, because you just described something called social modeling. So this is a theory in psychology by Albert Bandura, who's a psychologist who looked at how we emulate others' behaviors. He did a famous experiment with something called the Bobo doll. So basically, it had some kids look at someone, like an adult, interacting with this doll, whether it was just playing with it or beating it up. So let's say I went in there and beat the mess out of the doll, and then
just walk up to a bunch of kids who have a doll, stab the fuck out of it.
That's basically what. But this is what they saw though. Yeah. The kids took it and ran with it. Ooh. So let's say I was just punching it. There were some kids who were like bang, 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 bang. So they escalated the shooting. Yeah. This is like in the 60s. So he came up with this theory of social modeling. So what you just said describes that. So we shape ourselves to the ones who we want to be like. So the thing with this is, when I look at it, it goes kind of into you familiar? There's a guy named he just actually passed too. He was a psychologist named Anders Ericsson. Mm. He had a name, but his work was the foundation. Yep. So there it is. Let's look at that real quick.
So older persons throwing the
they'll do whatever they do,
like inflated punching bag looking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a clown.
Yeah, I had a bunch of those when I was a kid.
Bobo the clown.
Mm-hmm. All right, where are the kids?
I know, I'm waiting for it. Oh man, I think that's I don't know. I can't tell if it's a guy or girl on my screen.
Yeah, they're all punching the crap out of it, kicking it.
That kid needs to work on his form though. Kid's picking it up, kicking the shit out of it.
Kid's like 60 years old right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so people are just mimicking each other. And you think about, this happens in music a lot. It happens in rap. Sometimes somebody new that's coming up, they're like, oh, he's trying to be like so-and-so. Mm-hmm. Right? And then look at Kobe Bryant. I mean, Kobe Bryant modeled everything.
Grab that hammer.
Crazy bastard.
It's like, this is a good tool.
They get way more aggressive.
Kobe Bryant, mimicked Jordan through and through on the court, stuck his tongue out and everything.
And that's why it's good in that degree. Obviously not in that degree, but in that degree it's good, because going back to Anders Ericsson, he died, I think, in 2020, and his work was on the science of expertise. So all his work was about looking at chess champions, musicians, like classical trained musicians like Yo-Yo Ma, Mozart, Tiger Woods, the list goes on. And his work was the predisposition to a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. And they bring up something called the 10,000 hour rule. Mm-hmm. So this gets misquoted, and Malcolm Gladwell cleared it up, because people hear it and they say 10,000 hours to be an expert. But there's more to that, and Erickson talks about it more, obviously, in his work, because that 10,000 hours is an average. That's saying 3 hours a day, every day for about 10 years comes to about 10,000 hours. But what he saw was, depending on the subject, the people, whatever, it could be as short as 3,000 hours or as much as 20,000 hours. So it was more so a recommendation. It wasn't that saying that you just do 10,000 hours, because one, it has to be deliberate. Because think about this. I've been driving since I was 16, so 19 years. Mm-hmm. I can't go in Miami Gardens, near my area, there was just the Miami Grand Prix. I can't go out there and do anything with those guys. I'm gonna die
for so long.
Exactly. So that's where people misconstrue, because deliberate practice means, one, you get constructive criticism, and you guys coach, so you do this all the time. You can't just be like, all right, you look good. No, it's like, all right, okay, your knees kind of buckled when you squat, or whatever it is. So you have to have that part.
My go-to is, let's try something different.
But that's a good. I love that cue, because it's not putting them down, but it's reframing them to say, okay, something might not be the way it should.
Okay, let's move over this way and try this.
But that's great. But that's an expert coach. And that's why psychology is great, because you don't have to be a PhD, but if you understand the basics, it'll help you be a better coach, a better spouse, a better friend even, because it's about understanding your behaviors, not about, people always say when I was in college, oh, you're a psych major? Girl be like, read my mind. I'm like, that's a psychic. But basically, it's like, it does help me understand, but it's a downside too, because then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I know what that... And I'm not saying it's 100%, but I hate to say it, humans are not as special as we think.
Yeah.
We're different to certain degrees. There's differences, obviously. But on a collective, because think why did every major civilization have some form of pyramid? Why did every civilization have some form of irrigation structure that made the society go? Collective conscious, our brains are wired a certain way through hundreds of thousands of years of at least Homo sapiens species. But obviously there's more to that. So it's like, we're not as different. There's small things that make us different. We say we're special, whatever. That's maybe your mom or your friend, cool. But for the most part, psychology is about predicting likely behavior, predicting likely, keyword likely. Because with most research, you want to see 60, 70%, give or take. With psychology, that number is about 50.
Yeah.
So it's a little more room because social behavior is a lot harder to measure. But the goal of a psychologist, whether it's research or practitioner, is to be able to measure these intangible, make the intangible tangible. And that's where I come in. So it's like, we have to be able to do that. So when it comes to deliberate practice and all that, you have to have these concepts, because if you're just doing it to do it, you're not really getting better. So
What you doing in Florida, man? Isn't it crazy there? Like, there are like alligators and shit.
So,
hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it. All right. Share this with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too. So you can get whatever you like from us. All right. Peace.